Water management has three aspects: ancient irrigation systems built by our kings, which includes tanks, dams, and irrigation canals, collecting of rainwater, and drip irrigation. One of our past kings, Parakramabahu the Great, once said, "Let us not drain even a single drop of water falling from the sky into the sea without being used." This statement tells us how well water was managed in our ancient times. We are the one and only nation that did an environment-friendly water management for agriculture from the past. Tanks, dams, and irrigation canals, which give supreme contribution to sustain lives of millions of people from thousands of years back to date. They are all magnificent examples for rainwater conservation. The green concept applied in a tank. Here are the major parts of a tank. A reservoir of water was made by erecting a dam across a river, stream, or a tributary of them, with the aim of irrigating for farming an area which is short of water supply was used in our earlier times. Low-level areas in large flat areas were made into tank systems where rainwater got stored. These tanks are connected where rainwater gets collected and flow into nearby tanks. The stored water is then used in the dry zones throughout the year. This tank, built by our ancient kings, is a system full of the green concept. Collecting of rainwater is a method of water management which can be done by an individual person to conserve rainwater. Rainwater falling on the roofs of houses and other buildings can be utilized during drought. Drip irrigation is one of the most efficient micro-irrigation methods used at present. In this, lateral pipes connected to a main pipeline from the water source are laid closer to the root system of every crop plant. Water drips in the form of droplets from small devices called emitters in these pipes. Therefore, since water seeps only into the root system, water is not wasted, and also the growth of weeds around these crops are controlled. What is land management? Management of use and development of the land resource is known as land management. Land provides the environment for agriculture. It is a very valuable natural resource. But if it is misused, it can affect the environment very badly. Some of the methods of misuse of land is soil erosion, landfills, mining, illegal dumping of waste, and also because the existing land is not made use of properly, lands with forests have to be used for cultivation. This causes deforestation. So the green cover of the earth gets reduced. Also, misuse of land leads to the collapse of the natural equilibrium, which includes the increase in the emission of greenhouse gases. Therefore, land management should focus the green concept. There are several steps that can be taken in land management. Making the soil texture suitable for agriculture. There are different types of soil textures. Sandy soils have a coarse texture, clay soil have a fine texture, and loam soil have a medium texture. Each soil texture has an inherent capability. Sandy soils have the capability to drain water quickly, whereas loam soils will drain water easily, but clay soils will drain water slowly. So to make the soil's texture suitable for agriculture, organic matter has to be added regularly. Cultivate better suited crops in respective places in the land. Different types of crops require different types of soils. The loam soil is the most productive and the ideal type of soil for many crops. Therefore, farmers need to make sure that each crop is cultivated in its ideal soil. Improving the soil structure so that water and air are retained well. The quality of soil depends on the amount of nutrition it has and also on the amount of water and air retained by it. A compact soil would be less fertile because there would be less air in it. Therefore, aeration of soil can be done by using a pitchfork or a mammoth. Making a good draining system in the land. This is very important as if excess water is retained in the cultivated land, it would destroy the crops. Therefore, a proper draining system has to be established. Improving the quality of soil by applying fertilizers. As I told you earlier, organic fertilizers would add the necessary nutrients to the soil and improve the quality of the soil. There are many advantages that can be obtained by sustainable management of agricultural lands. The productivity can be improved, production risks can be reduced, the quality of natural resources such as soil and water will be improved, economic value of the crops will be increased, and disasters could be minimized, and also the harmful effects to the environment can be minimized. There are several green concept-centered cultivation methods that can be used in land management in order to achieve high productivity. Now, let's look at each of these methods in detail. Mixed crop cultivation. This is the cultivation of one or more crops along with one main crop in the same plot of land. And this gives us many advantages. Since different crops will absorb different nutrients. Nutrients are absorbed in balance from the soil, thereby the quality of soil is conserved. Since there are different types of crops, the growth of weeds and damage caused by insects, pests are minimized. Crops can withstand unfavorable climatic conditions and plant diseases are suppressed. Since several crops are cultivated, there would be an increase in the total yield. Maximum benefits from the limited resources can be obtained. The second method is crop rotation. In this method, several crops are grown in the same plot of land from season to season according to an order. So the crops are rotated, right? They are grown in a rotation basis. So there are 4 types of crops that are used: a cereal, a legume, a yam crop, and a commercial vegetable crop are grown from season to season. By growing different types of crops, nutrients in all the soil layers are exploited. Since different types of crops require different types of land preparations, it improves the physical, chemical, and biological features of the soil. And the third method is growing crops improved by biotechnology. Now, this is something we have learned already in chapter 1. When improving plants by biotechnology, their tolerance to drought and resistance to diseases and pests increase with the nutritive value, while the nutritive value and taste of plant products also increase. And here are some examples where biotechnology is used. Green concept can be applied in post-harvest technology. What is this post-harvest technology? It is cleaning, classifying, and packaging the harvest immediately after harvesting so that its quality is preserved. Post-harvest process includes the activities of plucking the harvest, packing the harvest, transporting, and selling. In Sri Lanka, Post-harvest technology operates at a very low level. People have little interest in plucking, packaging, and transporting harvest scientifically. This happens mostly because of the lack of knowledge. Therefore, a greater part of the harvest is disposed without consumption. This would eventually drop the income of the farmer and also the seller while it increases the price of the products. Moreover, the opportunity to consume high quality food by the consumer is reduced.